Audio morning brief for the U.S. stock market. It's September 7th. It's 8:48 a.m. Eastern Time. I'm Rich Posson for Critical Point. The model is suggesting that the market will top next week, and it may even top as soon as next Monday, for the next level 3, and that any level 3 moving forward here is eligible to coincide or perhaps trigger the more important level 2 top. And there's still a low probability that the more important level 1 top will occur this time around. Currently, the level 1 ideally will not show up to around November, December, and I think it's just going to be profit-taking. But it is the more serious sell signal, so maybe something more serious can occur by the end of the year. But again, low probability scenario that something more serious will occur in just the next few weeks because of a level 1 in the next few weeks. But that is an alternate forecast. So, bottom line is the level 2 is the second most important kind of sell signal we get during a year. We could see as much as a 3% drop in the stock market. Now, some people out there, Tom Lee over at Fundstrat, of course, is almost always bullish and doesn't catch some of these corrections along the way at times. But he feels as though September could be an explosive up month, but October could be as much as a 10% drop. I think it's a bit volatile. I'm going to go with about a 3% setback coming here sometime this month into early October. The setback may only last about a week and a half, but it can be more complicated, have more fluctuations in terms of greater percent change, and may not finish or bottom to early October. Okay, seasonally, the market normally is down September, October if you look at the history of the U.S. stock market, but I question how well that's worked in recent years. Now, the model's saying, yes, we do have to look out for that top as soon as next week, okay? And it could delay, or we could wind up with a level 3 decline that's rather sharp, get a rebound, and then have another sharp decline, and then we see an overall kind of corrective process as opposed to just one sharp drop, all right? Now, what's going to occur then from this week and the next week? Well, it looks as though the stock market should bottom today, tomorrow for level 3. It may have bottomed the end of last week, okay, or near the end of last week. And if so, then obviously it didn't work, and I've been warning you it might not work. And there's been a pattern of every other L3 downswing not working, or it works very little, that the market hardly sets back. And then the ones in between have the greater drama. Well, we were due for a quiet one now. So maybe it's over, but my thoughts are that they ought to sell some today, maybe into tomorrow, and we could see a little volatility here. If it drops quite a bit, I would be concerned that when we get the signal next week or later, that the market may not even make a record high then. I wonder if we haven't seen as high as the market's going to go into this coming top. It's as if it's already topping out. But I don't have enough evidence to call it either way. I wish I could say, hey, just sell this thing. We're not waiting around for the level 2. And as you know, I've already been anxious. I already backed out of some. I put a portion of that back on, then took it back off. And I think I'm just going to sit still now and just be patient. If I do decide I need to get in, I probably won't be able to update it. It's probably just going to be day trading into week trading and be fast about it. But I'm now thinking upside might be rather limited here. I'm not convinced we're going to have a surging month this month, and I wonder if it isn't already a topping process, and I think we're losing demand now. The supply has not yet increased. And our objectives that I showed you last week for the daily chart at around the 45.20s on up to about 45.40s, those work very well in that it stopped the market, at least somewhat, for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, and this is the 6th day if it can't rally today. And so I think the key is to watch Friday's low at 45.19 and a quarter. I think if it violates it, it could go a little bit lower if it's only going into a level 3. If for some reason the market is starting down ahead of next week's sell signal, then there's more downside. And again, it may go back to 44.18 cash and futures here. We could have as much as a 3% decline. Watch the 5-day average for potential support. It's a little bit above Friday's low. Watch 44.96 as a potential downside target. Now that is not calculated for the downside. I'm finding it difficult to come up with objectives right now. What it is a prior upside target that worked as resistance briefly, and it may now be support. At the same time, we also have prior objectives that turn into resistance levels that may now be support, but may also be downside targets at around 44.78 to around 44.64. So keep those in mind and just realize I think the bigger move is now down. The lengthier move may be down, but there's still a chance for upside into next week. If I can find a reason to trigger alert sooner, I will. But I think if you're concerned that I'm running late by waiting to next week or later for this level 2 top, I think it's okay to kind of start probing some sales here. I'm not a fan of betting on the downside because I think we're in a very strong long-term bull market. But I can see taking some off from time to time, try to reset it, put it back on at a little lower price. And that's what I intend to do with that level 2 bottom that's probably due near the end of the month to early October. Other than that, no change to the long-term bull market. This is just fluctuation within it. I think the market's going higher into next year. It's probably going to have a 7 to 12% drop next year, and then it's just going higher the following year. But the point is, along the way, we're going to get these level 1, level 2 trends that are going to create some of the most important fluctuation during the year, and they may be important enough to take a little gain and reset. And if you raised any cash and ready to put it to work, you could use those level 1, level 2 signals to continue to buy during this long-term bull market. Any rate, again, violation of Friday's low, I think is a sign level 4 swing is down for today, and it may stay down into tomorrow. If it were to snap all the way back up later this week, I would then call a level 3 bottom as of today or tomorrow. And then that could be another stop level for us, another warning level. And in the meantime, let's see if it won't grind higher in the next week. But I really am concerned of an earlier than anticipated top for the U.S. stock market. Now, the bond market's lower for the start of this week here, so interest rates are up. It really hasn't changed my outlook at all, but I'm wondering, are they starting to get a little bit nervous here? Is something going on this month? Now, Bitcoin could top this week. It's looking like it would like to have a negative reversal, but it's, in theory, too late for a top. I'm wondering, does Bitcoin go higher over the next few months or not? So I don't know what to think of it, but I could see that maybe the model just couldn't time the correct top and a top this week. But again, I think, right at the moment, the model is saying, well, it should just keep going higher over the next couple of months. Nothing on the dollar. Crude oil, I'm still long-term bearish, but it can hold up here. It can chop around for a while yet before it ought to have another leg lower. I don't have anything with gold. It's just sitting there. Don't know what to think of it. And all I can say is at best hold this year's low, or it's in trouble for a while. All right, that's all I've got. There's no new fundamental news on what's going on. We know that we're headed towards the U.S. government debt ceiling. That may or may not be a battle, but will get fixed. We know we're up against continued taper talk, and when will the Fed start to taper? And is that going to cause a problem for the market? It may short term, long term, it won't matter. It's actually a bullish scenario here. At any rate, that's where we're at, and I just don't trust waiting to next week for the sell signal, but the model is saying wait, and it's been more right than I have because I've been anxious to sell and have sold a little here, and you can see the model was more right, is saying just wait, just be patient, but watch these recent daily lows and watch for any signs of an early top. But I think come next week, we will probably pull the trigger here, even if we're going to be early and the market changes its mind, stays up to the end of the month. We still want to try for it. I think this is important enough to consider. There is a setback coming in the U.S. stock market. Past results are not necessarily indicative of future results. In terms of new upside targets, I really don't have anything until you get to the 4600s. maybe that's a sign a surge is coming, but my guess is this market's not going to 4,600 now into that level 2 top. And that's for the S&P 500. Thank you. Have a great day.